The sequel to Trainspotting is almost here, so let's talk about 10 random facts from the original film. So what's up with the title Trainspotting? It actually is a real hobby where train enthusiasts will spot trains. They'll write down their locations and engine numbers, and it just sounds really odd and boring.
I'm finally going to get a heritage unit on camera. Yeah!
It's hard to imagine why anyone would do such a thing as a hobby. Same goes for heroin. Aside from users, no one really understands why anyone would do such a thing. Hence the title. It's a bit of a stretch, but I think it works pretty well as a movie title, much more so than it works as an actual hobby. Apologies to any train spotters that happen to be watching.
Look at that, a 1953 E8. Woo-hoo! Oh yeah, listen to that bell.
To prepare for his role as Renton, Ewan McGreggor read books written by heroin addicts, met with recovering addicts, but at one point he actually considered injecting heroin just to understand what it was about and to connect with the character more. He ultimately decided against this, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was a smart move, considering he killed it in the role without injecting heroin and went on to build a pretty amazing career afterwards. Due to the skimpy budget, most scenes were filmed in just 1 or 2 takes, and the filmmakers had to get creative on set in order to get the shots they wanted. In this scene, director Danny Boyle is actually just off camera, where he yells at the dog to scare it, creating the illusion that the boy shot it with an air gun.
For a vegetarian, Rents, you're a fucking evil shot.
Ewan Brimmer, that's spelled E-W-E-N, actually played Renton in a stage production of Trainspotting prior to Ewan McGregor being cast as Renton in the film. Supposedly he did a great job on stage, but he did an even better job in the role of Spud, and it's hard to imagine anyone else in this role. Almost as hard as it is to understand anything Spud says in the job interview scene.
What school did I go to? How many O-grades did I get? Could be like 6, could be none. It's not important. What is important is that I am, yes?
Mr. Murphy, do you mean that you lied on your application?
No. Well, yeah, oh yes, only to get my foot in the door.
The original cut of the film was so intelligible for American audiences, the producers actually considered adding subtitles to the entire film. They ultimately decided against this, as it would erase the effect of the subtitles in the loud nightclub sequence. Instead, they had the actors come in and dub over their lines, softening their accents for the first 20 minutes of the film for the American release. The idea was that this would tune American ears to the Scottish accent enough that the rest of the film could remain untouched.
What are you two talking about?
Football!
Speaking of that nightclub scene, you may have noticed the taxi driver paintings on the wall, but you might have missed the literal writing on the wall. This is the same text seen on the walls of the bar in the opening of A Clockwork Orange. Both films served as inspiration for the look and feel of Trainspotting.
Heroin makes you constipated. The heroin from my last hit is fading away and the suppositories have yet to melt. I'm no longer constipated.
Even though it looks absolutely disgusting, the fecal matter covering the walls and floors and pretty much everything in the quote-unquote worst toilet in Scotland was probably pretty tasty, as it was all made of chocolate. But looking at this scene, I don't think I'd want to taste it. For this toilet diving scene, we're actually only looking at half a toilet with a ramp on the other side. Ewan McGregor had the idea during filming to twist his heels at the very last second to create the illusion of his body twisting through the plumbing. This scene is gross, it's funny, and visually stunning, but it's actually really successful at showing the audience the lengths a heroin addict will go to for a hit, even a suppository hit.
Are you feeling better now, though, eh?
Oh, aye, for all the good they've done me, I might as well have stuck them up my arse.
Remember OAISIS? They were actually asked to contribute to the now legendary soundtrack. Noel Gallagher declined, though. Apparently, he thought the film was actually about Trainspotting.
Oh my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
His failure to get clarification here left OAISIS off of one of the most legendary 90s soundtracks of all time. Bob Dole. Yep, that Bob Dole. He's mostly famous for running for president against Bill Clinton in the 90s, but you may not know that he actually was pretty outspoken about Trainspotting's American release. His claim was that it glorified heavy drug use. However, Trainspotting did more to scare people off hard drugs than Bob Dole ever did. He was later forced to admit that he had never actually seen the film. We can give him the benefit of the doubt and assume maybe he started watching it and fell asleep.
Bob Dole likes your style. Bob Dole. 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 Bob Dole.
Director Danny Boyle credited the Beastie Boys' Sabotage video, directed by Spike Jonze, as inspiration for Trainspotting's opening sequence. This sequence is also a really good example of how music impacts film. It opens the film with Iggy Pop's Lust for Life, making the main character's lives seem fun and exciting. This entire sequence is replayed halfway through the film with much more desperate music, giving you a completely different look into their lives, and it marks a major turning point in the film as everything starts to fall apart for the main characters.
Our only response was to keep on going and fuck everything. Pile misery upon misery, heap it up in a spoon and dissolve it with a drop of bile. Because no matter how much you stash or how much you steal, you never have enough. No matter how often you go out and rob and fuck people over, you always need to get up and do it all over again. Sooner or later, this kind of thing was bound to happen.
If you like this video, please let me know by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to, as I've got new content coming out every week. As always, thanks for watching. I'm out.
Oh my God! Oh, she's beautiful! She is beautiful, yeah! All right! Oh my, oh, oh, oh! Oh no, it's a BL2 too! Oh, the SNC 52! Oh my God! Oh, we're gonna watch this. Oh, this is special.